Hello everybody and a very warm welcome to Crafters TV. My name's Ben Moseby, thanks for joining us. Here we are, Monday, start of a brand new week and an exciting week as well. I think it's kind of nice to end our sort of day today, our last live offering with the Craft Along. You know, taking it down a notch or two after what was an amazing launch a little bit earlier on, the brand new Colour Bloom ink pads. Of course, you can still pick those up. Full details about those on the website and we'll show you those in more detail a little bit later on, but you can still get the showstopper of the collection and indeed all of the individuals as well. We're finishing off your day with the Craft Along. Had quite a few Craft Alongs this month, lots of masterclasses as well, because it's been all about the education when it comes to National Craft Month. And each and every week during National Craft Month, we have given you a code so that you can pick up lots of supplies within a particular niche of craft and save loads of money in doing so. This week, we are concentrating on all things storage for you. So use the code, brand new code this week, NCM Storage is the code. 30% off selected storage with that code. It's multi-use as well, which is nice, so you can pick up some stuff today, and if you see more stuff later in the week, you can obviously use the code again. Standard T's and C's apply, and if it's storage you're after and you're wanting sort of hints and tips and ideas, make sure you join me and Debbie later on in the week. I think it's Friday, isn't it? We've got a storage masterclass for you, so that will be fun. That said, we are here, as I mentioned, for a Craft Along, just an hour. So if you're crafting along with us, do shout up and holler, let us know in the comments, or if you're going to do it at a later date, also let us know and make sure you tag us in whatever you make. We are concentrating on what was a fantastic Sheena launch just a little while back, the In the Frame Bold Florals. Give you all the details on that in just a second, because you can get the collection and the individuals should you wish. But leading the Craft Along is the lovely Lily. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I might be taking things down a notch or two.
Yeah. No, but what I mean is, see, you can't say, you can't do anything for always getting it wrong. I mean, like launch days, like, wow, launch, wow. And a Craft Along, we take it down.
It's not wow.
You're not going to be going.
It's not wow, is it not?
You're not going to be going, wow, 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 wow.
Well, I might be.
You're going to be going,
I might be.
Ah, nice, gentle Craft Along.
I feel like now it's going to be really high energy after you've said that.
Well, maybe you should do it then. Half an hour, go, high energy.
Right, no, not half an hour, but hopefully it will be an enjoyable craft along, whether you guys are crafting along in real time or maybe you're going to be saving this project to actually create at a later date. I love the fact that I'm getting the opportunity to play with some of the amazing Sheena products that we launched, I want to say just a couple of weeks ago. It doesn't feel like long ago at all, so I'm really excited to get my hands on these fabulous. Got an easel, need to make sure it's got the stopper on there. Get my hands on these fabulous products, and I think it's nice to show a few different techniques compared to Sheena's style. We've seen all those amazing inky, messy techniques that Sheena brings to us, but we're going to bring in some of our papers, some of our pens. I'm going to keep things a little bit more clean and simple for this particular Craft Along. Easel card, I have to say, I do love an easel card, and it is a fairly easy easel to put together as well. But if you are wanting to recreate this, let's have a little look at the materials that we are going to need to make this particular card. So first up, as part of that Sheena In the Frame Bold Florals collection, you're going to need your Art Nouveau frame die set, your Delightful Daisies stamp, your Swirling Leaves embossing folder as well. Then we're going to work with our Illustrator pens to colour. We'll also need one of our original Duet ink pads, that one being the Lemon Meringue. Then a Noir Black alcohol-proof ink pad. And then from our Nature's Garden Delightful Daisies range, we're going to be using the 12 by 12 inch paper pad. And then we're also going to need some of our smooth white 12 by 12 inch cardstock, your Nina cardstock, some black cardstock, also your Scoremaster scoreboard, a magnetic stamping platform, ink blending tool, scissors, poker tool, all-purpose and tacky glues, and also my favourite, foam pads and your foam tape. That's everything you're going to be needing to recreate this project. I hope you guys will be crafting along. Let me know if you are. Let us know in the comments. Let us know maybe if you've gone for those new ink pads as well. We would love to know. Yeah, and if you've already got this collection too, again, let us know, and feel free to send in your pictures as well. We'd love to see what you've been up to. We've got Jan on the social media for the next hour. Amber Ray's already in saying good morning. Hello. Stephanie says afternoon again, everyone. Hello. Marcella Jimenez says hi, everyone, as does Jill from Yorkshire. Hillary's in saying hi, everyone, from a grim Bedlington. That's Hillary and Holly. That's, before I get in more trouble, that's Hillary saying it's grim, not me calling Bedlington grim. Sure, it's very nice in Bedlington. Uh-oh.
Beth, it is grim up here, isn't it?
It is.
One day of spring yesterday. This time yesterday, I was sat outside my house.
Yep. Don't blame you.
On a chair.
On a chair, yep.
With an ice cream.
With that, oh, blimey, living the dream there.
In the sunshine.
Wow. And then look
today,
outside today, absolutely pouring it down. As we say here, I don't know if this is quite an English saying, but it's raining cats and dogs.
It is.
Absolutely chucking it down. Horrible.
Beth says, hello, crafty friends, good evening. Hello, Jen's in. And also Pat says, hi Ben, Lily, Jan, superstar CTV staff, as well as my fellow crafting friends from a clear and beautiful New Jersey. And Lynn's joined us as well, saying good evening, Lily, Ben and all the CTV team. Bet it's grim in Newcastle tonight as well, isn't it? Eh? Just grim. Right, this is everything you're going to get in the bowl, in the frame bold floral 8-piece collection. Everything available for you in the collection, everything available for you individually as well. So it's entirely up to you, wherever budget lies. You can jump in, make your own little mini bundle should you wish, but they are fantastic. And you just know when Sheena's involved, when she's created something, it's going to be absolutely wonderful. You've got all of these beautiful florals to be playing with, so the pretty petunias. You've also got the beautiful luscious lilies. Is that your favourite?
Surprisingly, I'm not actually using this one for the craft log. I nearly did, but I thought, no, it's a little bit too cliche, that. But yeah, it's my favourite. I mean, it has to be. It'd be rude not to be.
Then you've got your beautiful, stunning wild roses. Or even poppies, actually.
Yeah, they could be.
Turn those into... The fun thing about this is, I mean, here's obviously your delightful daisies. You take whatever colours you want to these and you can create your own flower. There's nothing to say that you have to, you know, colour these in the particular colour that you think that they might be in nature. The frames are incredible. This one's that entwined floral. I like this one, but it's the other which is my particular favourite. With each of the frames, you've got so much beautiful detail and you've got the sentiments to go with them. So you've got just for you. You've got congratulations, best and wishes. This one I absolutely love because it's got that sort of Art Nouveau sort of feel about it. Reminds me a lot, not that I was around back then before you start, but reminds me a lot of when they used to do the silent movies and they used to have the frame around the old silent movies, sort of Charlie Chaplin, if you put it that way, looks just like it. And lots of opportunity again here with that frame. You've also got loads of sentiments there, thinking of hello, you, thankful, and so. And then, of course, you've got your beautiful embossing folders in here too, which again, if you go back and watch the launch with Sheena on these, I mean, she was just creating absolutely stunning makes just from the embossing folders alone. That one is the ginkgo leaves. And then you've also got your swaddling leaves as well. 10% saving on the bundle, less your Club Inspire discount. That is £56.68. And of course, you can go individually should you wish. Mary Pat's in, say good morning again, everyone from a sunny and snow-covered Montana. And Amelie says, hello, everyone. What a gorgeous craft along. Let's get into it. As always, if you've got any questions along the way, feel free to ask them. And if you are crafting along live, let us know. We can always stop, repeat, go over things as you need. But you have 50 minutes. Is that going to be long enough?
Let's hope so.
Well, it'll have to be, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah. Let's just make the show a little bit longer. I don't think we could do that. No, Ben wants to go home. So I best get a wiggle on, so they say. So we're going to start off by creating our card base. Then we're going to move on to our mats and layers and then our decoration at the end. So card base, we're starting off with a piece of that 12-inch by 12-inch white cardstock. All we've done is we've just chopped it in half. So it's measuring 6 inches by 12 inches. Then all we need to do to create our easel card is take our scoreboard. And you know, I always prefer to work in inches when it comes to my crafting. I find it an awful lot easier. We're going to score at 3 inches and then we're going to score at halfway, which is going to be 6 inches. Now, if you've got pre-made 6-inch by 6-inch card bases, all you need to do at this point is just put an extra score line in at the 3-inch because you'll already have one at the 6-inch. So literally all we need to do, move our scoreboard out of the way. That's literally as easy as it is when it comes to constructing our easel card. Then all we need to do is just fold on those score lines, reinforce those score lines. Of course, you could be using your bone folder, but that's just going to give you that lovely easel card. Now, quite often when we're creating our easel cards, we'll then cut another piece to 6 by 6 and pop that on the front there. But I wanted to go for something a little bit different. I quite like the way that that topper actually sort of protrudes above the card base. So we're just sticking with that one piece to create our easel card. Very easy easel to do. Next up, let's go in for some of our mats and layers. So we're going to bring in our guillotine and we're going to start off with some of our lovely pattern paper. This one being from our Nature's Garden Delightful Daisies. Of course, I'm using up every single possible piece that I can, you know what I'm like, for being as frugal as I possibly can with all of my scraps of cardstock. And we're also going to be using some black. I absolutely love this contrast of the really bright, almost like an acid yellow that we've got on that pattern paper and our black. Just a thin matte and layer, doesn't that frame that absolutely beautifully? So then let's start off with some of our black cardstock. So we're going to cut our black cardstock down to size first. So our mats for our card base, in our black cardstock we need it cut down to 5 3/4 inches square. So just as easy as that. Let's find our 5 3/4 inch line on the top of our scoreboard. I always call it a scoreboard, guillotine. I know we do have our scoring section on there, so you can use it as a scoreboard as well, which is very, very useful. So cutting that down to 5 3/4, and then all we need to do, will that fit on? Not quite, we're going to have to use our slightly larger piece. Let's cut our pattern paper down to 5 1/2 inch square. So that's going to give us that lovely, really nice thin 1/4 inch increment for our mat and layer. So it's just going to be a thin little border of black, nothing that's going to overtake that design and overpower it too much, but just enough to really nicely frame that beautiful pattern paper. So that's going to be the mat and layer that's going to go onto the base of our card blank. So let's leave that to one side for just a moment. Then we're going to need one more that's going to fit onto that top section of our card base, just like so. So we're going to take some more black cardstock and we're going to cut that down to 2 3/4 by 5 3/4. That piece is a little bit too small, but we'll save that for something else later, of course. So that's going to go in at 2 3/4 inches along that side, and then we're going to cut the other side down to 5 3/4 inches. And if you are struggling to keep up, I know it is a little bit more fast and furious with it being just an hour craft long. I will make sure that when I get home after the show tonight, I post all the measurements over on my Facebook and Instagrams, which is of course Lilly Fletcher CC or Lilly Fletcher Crafters Companion. So if you do need to catch up with those after the show, then they'll be there for you to refer to. Pattern paper here, this is going in at 5 1/2 inches by 2 1/2, which once again is going to give us that 1/4 inch increment all around the edge. I think what we'll do next is we'll get these stuck down onto our card base so that then we know we've got all of our mats and layers stuck down into position.
Okay.
So let's take our square piece, and all we're going to do is use some of our Collall all-purpose glue, and we're going to stick the two pieces together, and then they're going to go onto the card base. Nice and simple and easy to do. So just adding some of our Collall all-purpose around the edge and matting and layering these together.
Cindy, you'll have to let me know if you're crafting along live, because I've just seen your message saying I've got my stuff ready to craft along. So let us know if you're doing it live. Mary Jenkins bought the collection, so she's looking forward to this. And Lynn says, that looks lovely together. I would never think of using black. Wow, says Lynn.
I have to say I am a huge champion of black cardstock. I use so much black cardstock. It's one of my most used cards in my stash, alongside my multi-purpose card, of course. But I use it time and time again, and so often it's alongside bright colours like these. And I think sometimes we worry about using our black card and we think it's going to dull it down, but it actually does the opposite. It just makes those colours pop and makes them sing that little bit more, which I absolutely love. So definitely get yourself over to the website. I believe we've got our black card in stock. I'm hoping so, at least. And if you've not got any in your crafty stash, or maybe you're running low, how about stocking up now and making sure you've got plenty so you can be recreating a project just like this. So our large one, our square one, oh, it's back in stock. I'm just hearing newsflash, back in stock our black cards. So if you're wanting some of that, make sure you're checking out the website. It's A4 in size, it's 300 GSM, so it's really nice and sturdy. You can use it for your card bases, your construction, your boxes, matting and layering like we are doing here. You can stamp onto it, you can heat emboss onto it, you can be doing your die cut, your embossing. It's basically like the black card of multi-purpose, if you like. Lots and lots of different options with that fabulous card. So that's our two mats and layers onto our card base. And then next up, we're going to do a little bit of trimming down our panels for our embossing, because we are going to bring in one of those fabulous embossing folders. I thought it'd be rude not to, because they are so absolutely gorgeous. So what we're going to do is take some of our multi-purpose card, and we're going to cut down. The first one is going to go to 4 5/8 of an inch. So let's have a little look. So we can see halfway there is 4/8 of an inch. So we just need to go on to the next big line after that. So between the sort of the markings on the scoreboard, between those two those score lines there, so 4 1/2, and between halfway between the next line is where we're going to trim down. So that's going to be 4 5/8 of an inch by 4 5/8 of an inch. So this piece is going to be square. And then we're going to cut another one down. So this one is going to be 4 5/8 of an inch by 6 3/8 of an inch. So let's once again find 4 and 5/8 of an inch.
I
So
put my
halfway
glasses
between.
on at this point.
I know, yeah, you've got to make sure you got your eyes in, that is for certain.
It's all right when you're doing the quarters or the halves, isn't it? But when
Yeah.
you're going like 3/8 or...
Yeah. Oh dear, there we go. So we've got 2 trimmed down to size. Let's just bring back in our card base. Have I done this right? Let's have a little look. So it's going to be, oh, have I done it? That looks about right to me. By 6 3/8 of an inch. Oh, hold the line, caller.
Oh.
So it needs to be 4 by 5/8 of an inch, which we've got, which is perfect. By the other side, you need to be 6 3/8 of an inch. So we need to go sort of on the opposite side. So you can see 6.5 there. The one beneath that, we're going to go halfway between, and that's going to give us that perfect measurement. Let's just check that against our card base. There we go, that's looking good to me. So these are the 2 pieces that we need to emboss, but then we also need their mats and layers, our corresponding black mats to go alongside there. So for our square one, remember this one was measuring 4 5/8 of an inch square, so it needs to be 4 7/8 of an inch square for our mat and layer. So that's just going to be halfway between the one under 5 and 5. So let's find that one, and then let's go in halfway there. And because it's square, it's going to be exactly the same on the other side, just like so. And then as always, let's just check that that's lining up. There we go,
Perfect.
Just about right. Let's see if we can get the other one first time, this time round though. So this one is going to be measuring 4 7/8 of an inch. So once again, line under 4, line at 5, halfway between. So that's going to be 4 7/8 of an inch. And then all we need to do when we flip it round this next way, we need to have a little look, and we need to be having that at 6 5/8 of an inch. So that's going to be 6.5, next line halfway between. Let's have a little look. So there we go. Let's just check that that's about the right size, looking good to me. And then we're going to leave that to one side for a moment, because our next stage is going to be doing a little bit of embossing. So we've got our pieces there, good to go.
Quick question from Lily, says, could you tell me how to get rid of shiny glue marks on cards, please?
Oh, good question. So if you're using your Collal all-purpose glue, all you want to do is you just want to, once it's dried, just give it a little rub with your finger, and that should make all of that glue to collect into sort of little particles, and then you can just rub them away. Or you can try as well, we don't do one here at Crafters Companion, but some companies do sell glue erasers, and they're like a normal eraser, but they've got a little bit more grit to them, if you like. So what they'll do is they'll actually take off any sort of gluey residue, but do just be careful if it's on a coated cardstock, because they can actually strip the coating off coated cardstocks. Hopefully that helps though.
Cindy is crafting along live, so whilst we have a little pause in a minute, then your opportunity, Cindy, if you need anything repeating, you can of course ask. And Pat says, unfortunately, I'm not crafting along today. I'm going to finish Easter cards, but I will be saving the show. That is the good thing. Of course, you can always come back and watch at a later date and craft along at a time to suit you. That
is the beauty of it, isn't it? That's what I love about our craft alongs. Maybe you just want to watch first time around, maybe not quite as confident, so you don't want to craft in real time. You want to see that project be made in the first instance, and then you want to go back at your own leisure and create the craft along. I love the fact that we give you the opportunity to do that, making it nice and easy. Just crafting however best suits you. So what we're doing now is we're taking those 2 white pieces, and we're literally just running those through our die cutting machine using that fabulous embossing folder, this one being our gorgeous swirling leaves. So that's the one that we're going in with here. We're embossing both of them exactly the same, and then the next stage is going to be getting a little bit inky. So let's just take those out of the embossing folder. Exactly the same treatment for both. We've embossed both of them. You could be using either the embossed or the debossed side. I have to say, I really do like the debossing. Let's see if we can... Yeah, that's lovely, that isn't it, the debossed side. But we're going to go in with the embossed side.
When do you tend to use a debossed side? Because you just don't, not you, but one, like when does one use like a debossed?
It's really funny you should say that actually. So I was crafting, of course, it was a weekend, so I was crafting at home, and what else would I be doing? And I so often go for the embossed, and so often we go, oh, the debossed is really lovely, but we never end up using it. And I was actually creating a card over the weekend, I was like, do you know what, I'm going to use a debossed. So should we do that here? Let's do it.
Well, don't change it, just...
Why not?
All right.
Why on earth not?
All right.
I think occasionally there are certain folders where the deboss doesn't work quite as nice, it just doesn't look quite right. But I have to say the majority of the time you will find that your deboss side is just as lovely, just a slightly different effect. So do you know what? Let's go ahead and use our deboss side. So what that means is when we're adding our ink, most of the ink is going to be picked up onto sort of the background, if you like. So the area where we've got the leaves, it's not going to remain completely white, but it's going to be paler than the area where we've actually got the background. And all I'm doing is I'm using my round blending tool with one of my Duet ink pads. These are sort of the OGs, if we want to call them that. This one being a lovely lemon meringue, which makes me super, super hungry. Love a lemon meringue pie. Oof.
I can take it or leave it, lemon.
Ooh,
Lemon, yeah, lemon
oh,
meringue,
I love lemon. See, I'm a bit of a funny one for this. I like sour foods.
Sour foods?
Sour foods. Do I eat lemon on its own? I can do, yes. You know, if you get a glass of water and you have a slice of lemon in it, I always eat it at the end.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Puts your teeth on edge, doesn't it? But,
It makes my taste buds go a bit funny to thinking about that.
it's one of those, you end up pulling one of them faces, don't you? That sort of sour face. But yeah, I do like my sour foods, but lemon, absolutely love lemon. I love the smell. I don't know if you've ever smelt it when you've been abroad, when you've gone through like a citrus tree orchard and you can smell all the... Oh, it's the most beautiful smell. I think they have quite a lot of that in California. I want to say they grow lemons. I might be wrong.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually.
So if any of you guys at home are California-based and maybe you've got your own lemon tree in your garden, I'd love to know. Let us know.
But if you grow loads of lemons, like an orange, if you grow loads of oranges, it's like an orangery, isn't it?
Ooh, a lemonary.
A lemonary. Is that such a thing?
I don't know.
I was going to say as well, if you like really sour stuff, the next time my Daisy goes to the candy store in Darlington and gets some of that, Andy's candy bar, the toxic waste. Oof. I'll get her to chuck some of that your way, because that...
Is it sour?
It's not... There's no word to describe. It's 1,000 times sourer than a lemon.
See, I'm not sure how I feel about eating something that's called toxic waste. It doesn't sound too appealing. Oh, Jamie in my ear saying it sounds good. I feel a bit old to be eating sweets like that. It's like the sort of sweets you used to have at the school disco, didn't it?
Yeah.
Toxic waste.
I would not recommend it, but it's worth trying once.
I do like a sour apple boiled sweets. My dad always used to bring them home.
Yeah.
If you went, because in Sheffield we have a fantastic, I'm hoping it's still there, an old-fashioned sweet shop. Literally like it's out of the olden days, completely unchanged.
When you take the tub off the shelf and like weigh it all out for you.
Yeah, it's absolutely fabulous, but quite famous in Sheffield. And if ever my dad went to the old-fashioned sweetie shop, as we used to call it, he'd always get me and my sister sour apples. And you knew if you came home from work one day and he was getting out a little paper bag, you knew he'd got us some sour apples. It was always an exciting day.
Probably where your love of sour came from then, see?
Probably did. Another sour food that I like, raw rhubarb.
Raw rhubarb?
Raw rhubarb. Oh, yeah.
I think you can eat it raw.
Yeah, you can. It's just very sour.
Well, so you just sit there and like...
Yeah. I always remember when my mum was making a crumble, like on a Sunday afternoon, I'd always come and sneak into the kitchen. She'd be chopping up the rhubarb. I'd eat a little bit. Yeah. There you go. There you go. All the sour foods.
So weird. Please, anyone else eats rhubarb raw?
Raw rhubarb?
Let me know in the comments. I bet there's nobody.
So I tell you, I reckon some people will say they eat it raw but dipped in sugar, because quite a lot of people do that, but no, don't need any sugar.
So like a sweet and sour combo you're getting then, aren't you? With like a bit of a sour hit, and then any other weird food combos.
Yeah, let us know.
Let us know.
There we go. But we have got our two pieces good to go. We've laid up our first embossed piece onto the base, but not. What we've done is we're not actually going to layer this piece onto the top of our card base. It's just a little bit easier when we come to actually stick down our die cut panel. It's a little bit easier to do that while it's still flat. So we're not going to stick that one down just yet. We'll leave that to one side for just a moment. I have to say, I do like the debossed effect. Glad we mixed it up. That's the thing. When you get this, when you get your products home, when you start crafting along, mix it up, change it up however you see fit. I always think it's fun to create something a little bit different.
Thank you for the comments coming through. Love using my brayer to apply ink to the deboss side, says Laurie, and Lynn says, thank you. It's left from tacky glue on linen cardstock, and I've got one of those rubbers, so that glue problem will be sorted. Stephanie's going to be saving the show and coming back to it. We've got a couple of questions coming through, which we'll tackle in just a second. Kendall said, I used to live in California and had an orange tree. And Judy Lynn Koch says, I love lemon, also it's tart. Making my mouth just go all funny now. Just very quickly, because I know we've got a lot to get on with as far as the Craft Along is concerned. Very, very busy launch day with the brand new Duet Colour Bloom ink pads. These are incredible. I urge you to go back and watch it and see how you can create the most stunning effect 2 ink pads? No, just the one to create all the effects that you're seeing here. It is like witchcraft, it's like wizardry. You need to go back and watch the show with Leanne to see how you can get the very best out of your colour bloom ink pads. But you're going to get all of your 12 colours within the bundle, which are here for you. And again, whilst you can kind of see the colour separation here on the board, you need to see these being used live so you get the full kind of experience, if you like. But the 12 colours that you're going to get, the pomegranate, the pink grapefruit, I think one of our absolute faves from the show, the pumpkin patch, you've got the summer bouquet. A lot of these colours as well are going to work really nicely with the launch, which is coming Wednesday, the Enchanted Oceans collection. A lot of love for the Willow River. I know the shoal on its own individually has been flying, as has the anemone and that nebula. You've got the dusk orchid, you've also got your stargazer, the beautiful hellebore, and then your rose cloud. All of those beautiful colours come within the showstopper, and again, activating that sort of second colour just by adding water. If you just want to get the new ink pads on their own, you can. They're available individually too, but the showstopper is what the majority of people have gone for. And within the showstopper, of course, you get all of these other extra goodies as well. So you're going to get 15 sheets of your watercolour cardstock. You've also got in there your 4 misters and that mixed media mat, which will come in real handy if you want to copy any of the techniques that Leanne was doing over the course of that show. Plus, you've got your blending tools, or your blending tool, I should say, the round one with the 10 refills as well. 40% of the showstoppers gone. Get online, grab yours, and as we said, if the budget is a little bit smaller, you can go for the individuals as well. £84 or $104 is your platinum price on that. Well, we're going to have a short break, I think. When we come back, a few of your weird food combinations. There are some random ones in there, actually. We'll chat about those. We'll also finish off the craft along. But in the meantime, here comes a premiere, which is going to tell you a lot about one of the guys who's just the other side of that wall there. Just that other side of there.
Get in early on the morning to work, set up all my cameras, all my TV monitors, make sure the lights are on, check off some things before the show. Then 1 and 5. After the last show, I need to make sure everything's switched off, ready for the next day. Then I get to go home, just watch some TV, watch some movies or something when I'm making some food, and then go to sleep. The best part of my day is probably going live for the first time, like the first show of the day. I enjoy it, it's just fun. Get to warm up into the day. It's when everyone's saying good morning, everyone's chatting on the live chats, so yeah. I'd say night owl, but I'm also up quite early, so a bit of both. Shower at night time. Coffee, but I like iced coffees more than hot. Savoury breakfast. Masterclass. Definitely my headphones, helps with the bus rides. I like noodles, but it has to be done properly in a pan, whacking an egg, spring onions, all the trimmings. Mad by J Park. I check the bus timetable so I can get home.
Come in, check my emails, then lay the shows out in the studio, set pack shots up. Then I will get new polls, pick shows, solve any problems that need solving. We deal with other teams where we receive marketing suites, we receive boards. We pick samples to send to Hobbymaker. We pick samples to send to QVC. We will take the previous shows out of the studios, set the new shows up. We do floor occasionally, not all the time. Making sure that the craft expert presenters have everything at hand that they need. Anything that they haven't got during shows, we will run about and get the products for them. Think on a morning when it's really quiet, I can get more done when there's nobody else in the building. Night owl. Morning. Coffee on a morning, tea the rest of the day. Savoury. Normally lunchtime. Craft along. Mobile phone. Christina's chicken wrap. Barry White. You're my first, my last, my everything. Go home and make the tea.
Welcome back, everybody. There you go, two premieres for you there. Hopefully you enjoyed those. Everything you wanted to know about Jamie and Tracy there. Everything. That's it now. Laurie says, I have lemon trees and navel orange trees in my backyard.
Navel oranges, oh, beautiful.
Two Arizona sweet orange trees in front. I have tons of both fruits and been freezing a lot and giving away to family and friends. We used to eat raw rhubarb as kids, says Evelyn.
Oh, so a kindred spirit there, thank goodness for that.
Weird foods. This isn't that weird. Bacon, butty and beetroot, says Crafty Stacey Lou. I'll go for that.
No.
No?
No.
Oh, I love a bit of beetroot. Well, you obviously don't like the bacon side of things.
Yeah, I don't eat
beetroot butty?
It depends how the beetroot's done.
Roasted.
Roasted beetroot, but then I don't like sandwiches. I'll have me bread and I'll have me roasted beetroot, but just
but
separate.
Not together, yeah. We used to have rhubarb and sugar to dip in it, says Hillary. Mary Pat says, prior to the recent snowfall, I noticed my rhubarb poking through the ground. Don't know why that's made me laugh. Sorry about that. It's fun to watch it grow and unfold. And rhubarb is a big thing in Iowa, says Cindy. Raw or cooked. My mum loved rhubarb and gooseberry pies. And Anne says rhubarb pie was my dad's favourite. Yeah, rhubarb and custard is really nice as well.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but yeah, rhubarb crumble, very, very nice. And that's what actors always say as well, isn't it, in the background of movies and stuff when they're talking, but they obviously can't talk.
Yeah.
If you're an extra.
Really?
That's what they say. That's what they say you should say. No, just rhubarb. Because when you say rhubarb, it looks like you're having like a.
Wow.
Hang on. If I if Lily talks and I stand behind Lily, right? So you just say what you've got coming up, and I'll pretend I'm
crafting along, just as you do, crafting along. Oh, it's true.
See? Yeah. There you go, see?
And who said this channel was not educational? That has just been proven wrong right there. That's all you need to know. Wow, that has blown my tiny little mind, that.
Yeah.
I also feel like that could be quite good knowledge for a quiz show. So I'm just logging that at the back of my brain, because that could come in useful. Pub quizzes. Good one, that.
Yeah, well, always learning here, aren't we?
Absolutely.
Right, let's get back to it. Jenny just says, great hearing from some of the guys behind the scenes. Absolutely, yeah. Let's get back into the craft along there. Are we all right for time?
Yeah, should be fine.
Nice
Should be fine. Fingers crossed. I'm leaving the colouring to the end, so if we don't quite finish the colouring, you'll see the finished project, but I'm hoping we will be able to squeeze it in. Now let's do a little bit of die cutting. That's going to be the next stage in our craft along. We're going to use, I'm quite pleased that this is Ben's favourite of the two frames, picked wisely with our gorgeous Art Nouveau frame. So we've got the gorgeous frame around the outside, which is just over 4 inches by just under 6 inches, so a really nice statement size. And then we've got all our sentiments in the middle that we can mix and match. So So what we're going to do is we're going to die cut our frame and a couple of our sentiments all in one pass because we can do that with ease through our Gemini machine. Now I say we can do it with ease. The most important thing if we're die cutting multiple dies in any one pass is make sure they're all taped down into position just so that they don't move as this runs through our die cutting machine. So we've gone for our frame and then we've gone for our sentiment of hello you. And I have to say, when I was creating this project, I could only say it in the way, hello you.
Hello, you.
So I did definitely have Ben in mind when I was creating this project.
Yes.
So you've got to say it in that sort of way. You can't just say hello you.
No.
You can't say hello you or anything like that. It's got to be hello you.
Hello.
So that is the sentiment that we're going for. I think it's quite nice to have hello you rather than just hello. It feels a little bit more heartfelt, I think. So that's the sentiment that we are going for. So we've got our gorgeous outer frame. Look at the detail in this. This is absolutely incredible level of detail with one pass through that die cutting machine. You can see there it will just about squeeze onto your Gemini Junior plates. So if you've only got your smaller format machines, you will still be absolutely fine with this particular die. Let's just poke out the pieces that we've got in the centre here. To say it's a little bit of a gunky pokey tool. I don't know who I can blame for this one. Who was in last week? Was Debbie Robinson in last week?
No, it was. Oh yeah, it was Debbie Robinson.
Yes, we can
Yeah.
blame her. Thank goodness.
Oh, Sheena as well.
Sheena.
Yeah.
I can't imagine Sheena using a pokey tool. I don't know, but I just can't imagine it. I don't know.
You blame Debbie.
Blame Debbie. She's not here for a few weeks. So Debbie Robinson, oh, with your mucky pokey tool, what are you like?
Did anyone see Debbie's Instagram post the other day, by the way?
The spider?
Yeah, I know who did that.
Do you?
Yeah.
Go on. Was it you?
Debbie found a spider in her bag when she got home yesterday. It was a plastic one. And apparently she jumped out of her skin and said a few choice words.
I can
Do
imagine.
you want to know who put it in there? You can all tell her.
I won't tell her.
It was Jake.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, because he put it in my bag first.
Right.
And then I found it. I was like, oh, why yada? And then he said he didn't do it. And then Tracy said it was him. So I went back and I gave him what for.
Yeah.
And then he picked it up and put it in Debbie's bag over there,
Of course.
thinking he was funny.
I
So childish.
can just imagine Debbie finding that spider. As soon as I saw it pop up on Instagram the other day, it did give me a good old chuckle. I thought, bless her, oh, Debbie.
I didn't know she was so arachnophobic.
She's not arachnophobic. She just doesn't particularly like. I mean, to be fair, I've not got a problem with spiders, but if I open my bag to find a spider, I don't think I'd be best pleased.
Yeah.
So I can sort of sympathise with her there.
That's fair.
But anyway.
Very childish thing to do, Jake, if you're
I
watching.
know. Can you imagine doing something like that? Eh?
No, I would
Can't
never, not me.
Can't imagine you doing that. You're
Nope.
far too mature.
I tried to stop him.
I can imagine you did. I can imagine the exchange now, actually. Yeah. Yes. Oh, Jake, what is he like? Eh? We can say that because he's not in today. Yes, Jamie in my ear is correct. We can say that because he's not in today. But he'll be back tomorrow, I do believe. Right, so that's our frame popped onto our embossed piece. And then we're going to bring in some of our foam tape to pop that onto the back there. Just applying it along that bottom section there, because of course we've got that top part of our topper that's going to actually extend over the card base, so we don't need any adhesive at the top there. So peeling off the backs of our foam tape, and that's just going to line up. I'm going for an even spacing left and right and then along that bottom edge as well, and that's going to line up onto our card just like so. Before we go on to the colouring, we are going to do a few more mats and layers for the base. So we're going to bring back in our guillotine at this point, and we're going to cut a strip of our pattern paper that's going to actually act as our stopper for our card. So just going back to my measurements, it's going to have to be 5.5 inches in width. So let's find our 5.5, and then it's going to be 1.5 inches just like so. So find that 1.5 line and then chopping that down. That's going to be our stopper, and then we just need one extra piece that's going to be the area where we actually adhere our sentiment. So that's going to be 1 inch from our multi-purpose card. So let's cut down at 1 inch, just like so. And then lengthwise for this, it's going to be 3 1/8 of an inch. So find the first line over 3, and then we're going to go halfway between. And then all we need to do is do our mat and layer from coordinating black cardstock. So we've got a nice little scrap that we saved from earlier, and this one is going to be 3 3/8 of an inch, just like so. And then that's going to be 1 1/4 inch in width. Just finding those lines, lining it up to make sure that's level on there, just like so. And then the two will layer together like that. I believe that's all of our trimming that we actually need to do for this particular project, so not too much at all.
Yep.
Then all we're going to do, just to make this coordinate a little bit better with our mats and layers that we've embossed, we're just going to lightly ink the edges using that lovely lemon meringue. Back to lemons once again.
There we
Our
go.
lemon meringue duet
Always
ink
back
pad.
to the lemons.
Oh, just thinking of having a lovely orange orchard. How gorgeous would that be? Can you
Having a what?
imagine? An orange orchard.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's not going to happen up here, is it, in the northeast of England? But,
Probably not quite warm enough.
don't think they'd grow too well, let's be honest.
No.
Oh, Jamie's saying we could try. Yeah, it might be a waste of time, effort and money, but yeah. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to layer together our two pieces that we're going to pop our sentiment onto. So our white layer is going onto our black matting layer, and then we're just going to stick our sentiment into position onto the centre of there.
Loads of messages coming through. I used to make a rhubarb and strawberry sauce to put over ice cream or a pound cake, says Evelyn.
Ooh,
What's a pound cake?
It's quite an American sort of cake. I don't quite know what's exactly too special about it. I think it's just a regular sort of cake. I think the pound refers to the fact that it's baked in a pound loaf tin, I think. Oh, is it the same as a Madeira? Oh,
It's the same as a Madeira, apparently.
I do like a Madeira cake.
Which is the fruit.
Oh.
A pound of flour, a pound of butter, a pound of eggs, and a pound of sugar.
There you go. My pound loaf tin was completely wrong, but the thought was there. it sounded very
Yeah, it did.
convincing.
We should have just gone with that and not looked it
Yeah.
up. We grow rhubarb when we lived in North Dakota, says Kate, but now we're in California. Now we send boxes of lemons to relatives in North Dakota, and they send us boxes of rhubarb. So we're both happy.
Lovely.
So the lemon and rhubarb exchange there.
Yeah, we like that.
Hilary says, love the frames and the fonts of the sentiments. It's a lovely, lovely collection. And Joe Holzer says, it's my birthday, so I think I need to treat myself to something, right? Well,
Oh,
even
yeah.
better, Joe, get someone to
Happy
treat you.
birthday, yeah,
But, yeah.
absolutely. And if there's no one else to treat you, treat yourself, because why on earth
Absolutely.
not?
If you can't treat yourself on your birthday,
When can you? Absolutely, could not agree more. Oh, well, let us know if you do treat yourself to something during the show. Let us know what you go for. We're very nosy. We like to know what everyone's shopping for. That is for certain. So that's our stopper onto our card base like so. The final step in this journey, blimey, it sounds quite epic. The final step in our journey is to actually colour our gorgeous stamped image. And what we're going to use for this particular card is going to go for the daisies. I have to say I kind of chose my pattern papers first. Actually, I wanted to use my gorgeous Delightful Daisies paper pad, so I chose that first, and then I went in to choose my stamp that was matching with the gorgeous Delightful Daisies. Love the fact that both the paper pad and the stamps actually got the same name. We know it's going to coordinate perfectly then, for sure. This is a gorgeous quality photopolymer stamp, really large statement size as well, 4 inches by just under 6 inches. So it's literally going to take centre stage on any of your cards or projects, even if they're quite large cards like this one we are putting together here. Because we're going to be colouring this with some of our alcohol-based pens, that being our illustrators, we're going to go in with some of our Nina cardstock. Lovely super smooth cardstock. It's going to give you that optimum blend when it comes to any of your alcohol-based markers. Doesn't matter whether they're Spectrum Noir or any brand at all, it's going to be the best one to go for. Going to line up our stamp in the centre of there, and I have to say, if you've never used a photopolymer stamp before, maybe you've only ever used clear acrylic stamps, you know it's photopolymer by the smell. Any crafter at home will know exactly what I'm talking about. You can smell a photopolymer stamp. And this is fresh out of the packet, so I do have to give a little sniff.
You'd sniff that stamp out from 100 metres.
Absolutely. You could give me some clear stamps. You could blindfold me. You could put them under my nose, and I would tell you whether it's a clear stamp, photopolymer, or acrylic.
There, well, I've just found the next bit of social media content to do.
Absolutely.
Who wants to see that? Well, blindfold Lily. UK viewers will remember a TV show with Matthew Kelly called You Bet. The audience used to bet whether someone or not would be able to do a crazy challenge. So we could do that. So what, we could get like 10 stamps?
Yeah.
And you reckon what, you could do all 10?
I reckon so, yeah. I think so.
What, even if they are older ones, or have they got to be straight out of the packet new?
Blooming heck. New. Ideally new.
Okay. Who wants to see that on social media?
That would be fun, wouldn't it?
Hey?
That would be fun. Yeah. Let's make that happen. I've set myself up to failure, aren't I? Blooming heck.
Yeah, can you imagine?
I'm hoping I can.
1 out of 10.
It's definitely photopolymer. No, it's not, Lily. No, it's not. Uh-oh, right.
It's not even a stamp.
Can you imagine?
Shoe.
Can you imagine? Right, let's do a little bit of colouring before this gets completely out of hand and I set myself up too much to fail. Right, we're going to go in with our illustrators and all of the colours I'm actually going to be using. If you are going for that Colour Essentials box that I know we've actually got over on the website, on the shop today, you'll find our 36-piece Colour Essentials box. If you are wanting to recreate this craft along, all of the colours that I'm using here are actually within that one pen box. So if that's the first sort of purchase of illustrators that you're making, then you know you've got every single colour that I'm using here straight out of the box to create this particular project. And as well, when I pop the measurements for this particular card over on my social media later tonight, when I'm sat up in my craft room with a cup of tea and a few biscuits, crafting away, I'll be popping all the measurements up and I'll also pop on the pen colours.
Suck it on a lemon.
No, not with a cup of tea. No, not with a cup of tea. That can be after the cuppa. No, couldn't have too much acidity with a cup of tea. It would ruin it.
Yeah.
Which also brings me on to the topic of dunking ginger nuts in tea.
Just ginger nuts. No. Anyway.
Oh, you're not a fan?
No, ginger nuts.
That's controversial.
No.
Really controversial.
I don't know. Just no.
No.
And they're quite hard as well, aren't they?
They are.
Nuts?
Yeah. I mean, you could do one of your teeth out with one of them quite easily. I'll be honest.
But they are good for dunking because of the fact that they're so hard.
See, not in a normal cuppa. It flavours the cup of tea, and you have a ginger cup of tea, it's not good. But if I am having a cup of ginger tea, a proper ginger herbal tea, dunking a ginger nut in that, it's ginger overload.
Ginger
Double
tea.
ginger. I mean, if you're wanting to ward off colds, I mean, that clears your immune system right out, believe you me. Oh, blimey, talk about cleaning out those sinuses, yeah.
I didn't have you down as like because I know you like Yorkshire tea.
Yep.
So, but you like all sorts of different teas as well, do you?
I do like my green tea, my matcha green.
Green tea.
Some of them, and my rule of thumb, this is going to sound daft, when it comes to herbal teas, if there's a flavour that sounds absolutely amazing, if there's like a salted caramel one, don't go for it. Because it's not going to taste like salted caramel, is it? I like the more basic things like a normal, I don't know, a raspberry tea or something like that.
Okay.
Nothing too crazy. But yeah, I do like a green tea.
Green tea, they used to say was quite good if you were like detoxing and dieting and stuff, didn't they? But to make sure that you didn't drink green tea on an empty stomach.
Oh.
Because some people I don't know, felt a bit nauseous.
Oh, interesting.
Earl Grey's another one that
no.
Laura drinks Earl Grey like it's going out of style, but no,
not for me, I have to say.
It's perfumed.
Yeah, it's not for me. I was going to say I didn't like perfume foods then, but then I realised like a certain violet sweet.
Oh, Parma violets.
Yeah, I do like them.
Oh no, they're just I used to get them in a party bag, straight in the bin.
Oh, see, my mum absolutely hates them. She always goes, "Are you eating old lady's perfume again?"
Oh.
Yeah, I do like a Parma violet.
Do you buy Parma violets? Do you?
Well, if I get like a bag of sweets, I wouldn't just buy Parma violets. But if I get a mixed bag of sweets and they're in there, I'll be quite happy. Quite happy, yeah. Do like a Parma violet. Oof, this craft along has taken a very interesting turn, isn't it? We've covered all the major topics, I would say, that are affecting the world at the moment. All the current issues, Yeah,
this would be on the news at 6 tonight.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
What does Lynn says? What does photopolymer smell like then?
Oh my God, you can't describe it. You cannot describe it. It doesn't smell like anything else. It's not like fruity. It's not nasty. It's a lovely smell. I couldn't describe it though.
Is it a smell that's a lovely smell that you shouldn't smell, if you know what I mean?
I don't think so. I'm hoping not. Otherwise, I will have damaged my nose beyond repair at this point. Oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, well, I think it's an all right smell. It's not like a stays on ink pad, put it that way.
We will, once we set up the game that we are definitely going to do on the socials, we'll have a bit of a sniff ourselves. Hilary says, I once got caught sniffing a book in the supermarket by a member of staff. Oh. I had to walk away quietly.
Oh dear, you're in the right place, that is for certain, because you know I am a self-confessed paper pad sniffer. I absolutely love sniffing a paper pad. You should have seen us after we did First Look. Was it Friday we done First Look? And we were all smelling that vellum
pad. It was like the
best vellum pad. Oh my goodness me.
It smelt lush.
I'm not being funny, but you've got to buy the whole Enchanted Ocean collection just to smell that vellum pad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the smell of the ocean. Well, actually, no, that's a lie. It's not the smell of the ocean. It's just the smell of the ink.
Well, it's funny because I was told, and I don't know if this is true, but I was told it by a very knowledgeable lady many, many years ago, and I've always stuck by it. I was told that you should smell a paper pad because if it smells pungent, shall we say, in a good way, if you can smell it, that's a sign of the quality of the ink.
Yeah,
So,
exactly right, yeah.
Have you heard
I've
that?
heard exactly the same.
Yeah,
The better
exactly.
it smells, the better quality of the ink.
Absolutely. So therefore, I always say, if anyone wants to laugh about me sniffing paper pads, well, I'm just doing a little bit of quality control. That's all it is. So yeah, we're not mad. We are just assessing the quality.
Yeah.
And same with your stamps. You do know if you can smell it, it's photopolymer. You know that's the sort of stamp you've got. It's not a acrylic stamp. But there you go. I'm just trying to justify now.
We'll deviate off this in a second. So you know what a photopolymer stamp smells like.
Yeah.
So if and when we did this test of photopolymer versus acrylic, would it be a case of you know the smell of photopolymer, so you'd be able to know that acrylic, what was I trying to say? Does an acrylic stamp doesn't have a smell then, is what I'm saying?
Process of elimination.
Right, it would be, okay.
Yeah, so you can't really smell an acrylic stamp, whereas a photopolymer, it's got that really distinctive smell. I'm hoping some of you guys at home will know what I'm talking about. I'm thinking most of you are probably thinking I'm absolutely barking mad as usual, but if you do know what a photopolymer stamp smells like, I think you'll know exactly what I'm on about. It is a lovely smell, I have to say. I do love the smell of a new set of stamps. Oh.
Well, Beth also loves the smell of vellum, she says.
Yeah, thank you, Beth. You are a kindred spirit, that is for certain. Talking of new goodies, I did have a delivery today.
You had a what?
I had a delivery to the office. New goodies.
What did you get?
New Bold 3D geometric embossing folders.
Ah, okay.
I was lucky enough to get 3 of the sets for my DT samples, so I had to complete the collection. I had to get the other 3. It would be rude not to.
Yeah.
They are fabulous. I love the depth on them. They look absolutely incredible. And I know our Debbie Fisher, coming up this Friday on Crafters TV, she's got the most fabulous craft along lined up. So that's one to look out for. If you've not checked those out on the website, do have a little look. Great price on those as well. So that is my little crafty purchase today. It's quite rare that a week goes by without me having a delivery to the office. Let's be honest.
Zoe says Earl Grey is like drinking perfume. Never drunk it, don't like the smell of it, but I can imagine, Zoe. Victoria, I'm with you on this one, although more as a kid, I used to remember winding down the windows. Victoria says, I love the smell of petrol.
Yeah.
Is that a thing, though?
Oh,
definitely a thing. Definitely a thing.
You can't deny that, can you? You can't deny. Can I just say we do not
advise you smelling
condone that?
petrol.
We don't condone that at all. We're just saying what happened in a previous life, shall we say?
Yeah.
When we were younger, we can't be held responsible.
And Zoe Carver says, so last year's April Fool was edible paper pads.
Oh, it was.
Is it scratch and sniff pads this time? I'm sure there won't be an April Fool this year. We're not going to do 2 in the space of 2 years. Oh, we'll probably give it a rest this year, I would have thought.
We did one the year before. The year before, I think we do a couple the year before.
Was the mini?
Yeah, it was a mini, and was it called the micro? Do we call it the micro?
The what?
The micro machine. Instead of, it was smaller than the mini.
I think it was, yeah, the micro.
Yeah.
It fit in the palm of your hand, didn't it?
Yes, yeah.
And was that, I know we chatted about this, was the micro machine the same year that Sarah got the tattoo? Or was
I think so, because did we do 3? I think there might have been a Spectrum Noir one as well that year, but I can't remember what it was. But yeah, the last year, I have to say, I do wish we'd bring out that edible paper pad.
I was exactly the same. I remember filming it going like, this is hilarious.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to want this now.
Yeah.
Because the designs on the pad were brilliant as well, weren't they? It was like burgers and hot dogs and cake and all that kind of stuff.
Because I remember when the social team came through one morning and they showed me this paper pad, they're like, oh, what do you think to this? And I didn't realise at the time they were about to film it as like an April Fool's. I was like, oh, it's brilliant. This is going to, it's going to be so popular. The guys at home are going to love it. They're like, oh, it's an April Fool's. And I was a bit like, oh,
everyone's going to want it.
Maybe one day we can keep asking and we'll actually get it as a proper product. That would be fabulous, wouldn't it? Yeah, can you imagine, though? It wouldn't make its way onto any cars. We'd have eaten it before it got massed and layered onto any cars, wouldn't it? Oh, dear. Right, all we're doing to finish this off, we've just done a little bit of quick colouring. Of course, you can spend a lot more time when you're crafting at home, really going to town, building up all those layers, building up all that shading. I mean, be totally inspired by all of Sheena's amazing colouring techniques. I know she's an absolute whiz when it comes to the ink pads, the aqua pens, literally any colouring media at all. That Sheena is incredible with. She's got all those amazing techniques. But here, using our illustrator pens, even with just a bit of quick colouring, you can see how quickly that will come together and give us a really nice effect. At the end of the day, all of the hard work has been done by those fabulous stamps. It's just down to you to add colour however you so choose. And all we're doing now is we're just fussy cutting around the edge. So using my 6-inch scissors, just moving that cardstock rather than my scissors. It's going to give me that lovely smooth cut all around the edge of our daisies. And this is just going to be the finishing touch, that focal element onto our card. So I thought for a second I'd lost my card. It was just to the left-hand side of me. I thought, blimey, what have I done with that? It's there, don't worry. And then all we need to do is we need to pop this into the centre of our frame. So of course you could be using these frames independently from the stamps. That frame will be perfect for lots of our other items going in the centre of there. That is for certain. I mean, you could be perhaps adorning the edges with some of your flowers that you've made using some of your flower forming foam. That would work quite nicely as well. So don't just think about using everything together from the collection. Think about other items you've maybe already got in your crafty stash that you could be working alongside some of the elements in this fabulous range as well. That's just going to sit into the centre of our frame. You can see how beautifully that's sized to perfection to go in the middle. And just as simple as that, we have created our easel card using our fabulous Sheena bold florals in the frame. Pretty similar, I'd say, to the one that we've done beforehand. Not too much difference there. So that's the one we've done today, and that's the one we did before. Don't forget we used the deboss panel and we use the emboss there, just showing how you've got almost like a 2-for-1 with each and every single one of your embossing folders. Don't worry, I will be posting all the measurements, all the pen colours on my Facebook and Instagram, Lilly Fletcher Crafters Companion, in a little wee old while. So if you do want to recreate that, then you can do just that, and make sure you do share photos if you do recreate this project.
Well, what a fantastic show, what a fantastic project as well. And I feel like, you know, whilst we've been watching Lilly colour, certainly the last sort of, 10 minutes or so, we've learned, not just about crafting here, but we've learned so much about the world and indeed all about one another.
Whether you wanted to or not, you have.
Yeah, and we've learned that we are all just the same kind of weird, aren't we? Aren't we all weird in our own little funny ways? If you want to get this collection, it's all still available for you in the Frame Bold Florals 8-piece collection. As I mentioned, all of these elements are available for you individually as well if you want to go down that line. But look, you get both of the beautiful embossing folders, from those swirling leaves to the ginkgo leaves as well. If you did want to be able to copy Lilly's craft along, you will need the Art Nouveau frame. It's my favourite of the two frames that you're going to get within this set, but you also get a whole host of different sentiments in die form as well. So of, thinking, hello, thankful, so, and you. And then your second frame is that beautiful entwined floral frame, again with a whole set of different sentiments for you. So you, just for, congratulations, best and wishes. This again is the stamp you need to go for if you want to copy Lilly's project, but you get 4 within the collection actually, and it's all of your sort of favourite florals, if you like, from daisies to roses, from roses to lilies, and lilies to the beautiful petunias. It's a wonderful collection, all from the brilliant mind of Sheena, and it is yours today. Remember, if you pick it up today, be delivered to your door, and then you've got this craft along to come back to try out at a later date. If you have crafted along today, like I know Cindy did, do make sure, as Lee said, that you tag us in all of your pictures, all of your makes, or indeed if you want to send them to the studio, we can show them at a later date as well. £56, $68. That was the day that was. What a Monday. Massive thank you to Lilly. Thank you also to Leanne for earlier on. Big thank you to all of the team. Thank you to Jan on the socials, Susie and Jamie and Johnny and Tracy. Tomorrow is going to be another big day. The Fish is in town. And we've got, well, another big launch. It is the Arabian Nights coming your way tomorrow. A lot of people were chatting about that off the first look at the back end of last week. It's going to be another biggie. It should be going live on the website around about 11 a.m. UK time. So make sure you're in nice and early, and make sure you join me and Debbie for everything you need to know and all the inspiration for our launch at 1. Until then, enjoy the rest of your Monday. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to check out your baskets. We'll see you tomorrow.